Beautiful mamas, I want you to picture this. It's 10 o'clock at night. You're dead tired. You're falling into bed and you're thinking about all the things that you accomplished today. Well, you did homework with the kids. You changed diapers. You cooked meals. You washed dishes. You did all kinds of things throughout the day. And you got a lot accomplished. But my question to you is, do you feel fulfilled? I'm Debbie Page, and this is part 2 of the emotional home we started last Friday. And I want to talk about why you may not feel fulfilled with everything that you're doing, even though you can check off lots and lots of boxes. So let's talk about this. Being fulfilled is very, very different than achieving. And as a business owner, that was a very hard thing for me to do because I love checking off boxes. So I learned from many classes and mentors and coaches that to be a successful business owner, you've got to step away from just the ordinary things that you check off that you accomplished for that day. And you have to have a passion for the business. So I thought about that with moms, and I thought that I think that's so true. You really need to have a passion for raising your children. And maybe you are so tired now that you're thinking, no, I don't have a passion for raising children. All right, let's figure out how can you develop a passion for what you're doing. And I think it's got to start with recognizing who you are before God. So let me tell you a little story. In nursing school, this would have been about 50 years ago because I think it was probably 1971. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 1971. And I see myself, I'm standing in the medication room. I have my starched white cotton nursing uniform on, have my white cap, because yes, that's when we used to wear caps, and my shoes were perfectly polished because our shoes were checked daily by our instructors. And I'm in the medication room with the tray, and I'm preparing the meds to take to my patients. And then I thought, or the thought came to me, Debbie, think about me every hour. Up until that time, I don't think I'd ever had that thought before. Now here I am faced with this whole thought of think about me every hour. I said, yes, Lord, I will do that. I will do that. And thus began a lifetime journey for me that has continued up until now. I'm 71. And I still make it a purpose every morning when I get out of bed to think about God at least every hour. Now, it's so much a pattern of my life that it's no longer even what I would consider a habit. It is just who I am. But I'd like for you to start thinking about that. Because if you stop and you reflect on who God is, on his greatness, his majesty, his goodness to you very specifically and particularly, his love for you, the joy that he pours out over you. He even says that he sings and rejoices over us. So think about that. And I think that once you start to practice the presence of God as often as you can, you set whatever goal feels like a comfortable, good goal. Well, let's not say comfortable because I always like to get out of our comfort zone. But think of a goal that you want to set for yourself. This is a super simple thing, and I don't want any guilt because it takes time to develop any type of habit, and habits take time to become just a regular part of who you are. Most of us don't think twice about brushing our teeth in the mornings or before we go to bed at night. It's just a part of who we are. So here's a little tiny exercise for you for the week. What I'd like for you to do is to set an alarm, and you can choose whether you want that alarm to go off every 2 or 3 hours. Some of you might want it to go off every hour, but you decide. And when that alarm goes off, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you may be changing a diaper, you may be have your hands in sudsy water as you're washing up the dishes. But that moment, what I'd like for you to do is to think about practicing the presence of God. Spend a second or two just praising God for who He is, and then give Him some kind of thankfulness for what He has given you. I think you will be amazed once you start to put this into practice at how rapidly your life will change, how rapidly your relationship with God will change. You will become a different person. And remember, as you become a different person, your family becomes different, because they're always looking at you, whether you know it or not. They are modeling you. They are trying to become mini me's of you. So practice the presence of God and allow yourself to fall in love with Him. He's already totally in love with you, but allow yourself to fall in love with Him. So if this message touched your heart today, and I hope that it did, then I would like for you to hit that subscribe button, become a part of our community, leave me comments so I know, what do you want to hear from me? What would help you to grow both as a Christian and as a mother? And let's keep this conversation going. There may be other mamas out there who really need to know that God loves and adores them, and that they too can love and adore Him. So share it with other mamas. And until we talk again next Friday, beautiful mamas, keep shining.